Sports Minutes with Ziaul Raushan.
Money FM 89.3. It's time for Sports Minutes with me, Ziaul Raushan. Now, when it comes to football commentary, there are plenty of cliches. One of which is a line that goes,
Remember the name, Wayne Rooney.
well, that was back in 2002 when a certain Wayne Rooney burst onto the scene. Closer to home, the year is 2025 and the name is Harry Spence. The 19-year-old Young Lions winger on loan from the Lion City Sailors has caught the eye in the opening weeks of the Singapore Premier League season, giving fans plenty of reason to remember that name. And today we're going to dive beyond the name and get to know Harry a little better as he joins me on the show. Harry, firstly, a huge welcome to Sports Minutes. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good to have you with us. I'm very good. I'm very excited to speak to you. But firstly, let's clear this one up. Harry Spence or Henry Spence?
So, everyone could call me Harry. My official name is Henry, and you'll unfortunately have to blame my mum for that one. It was a thing in England that we do. My little brother wanted to call me Harry. My mum said Harry wasn't a real name. Officially on my birth certificate put Henry, but everyone could call me Harry.
I think it's important you clear it up because I think you can see how close those two names are. So thank you. Either way, we'll be remembering the name Harry Spence, Henry Spence, whatever you go by. Firstly, 2 games in the tank. How are you feeling ahead of the brand new season?
Yeah, I think on a personal level, it's been a positive start. I'm more concerned about the team and our start to the season, which obviously there's no doubt it's not been as positive, although there has been many positives to take from it. But yeah, I think my start to the season is everything I'd have wanted. I'm just trying to keep on going and do my best for the team.
We'll talk about the team, the positives and the negatives in a short while, but zooming in on you, 2 games, 2 assists. Is that the dream start for someone like you?
Getting 2 assists in your first 2 games as an attacking player is everything you'd want, really, to start the season. But for me, the 2 assists, unfortunately, we have had 2 losses, so it's maybe not amounted to anything right now. But I'm just trying to keep playing, keep getting my assists, and I've got no doubt the wins will come with it.
Harry, I have to ask you this. You talk about wanting the assists as an attacking player, right? I rewatched the Tanjong Pagar game in the build-up to this, and it wasn't lost on me that you gave the ball away for one of the goals. I'm guessing it comes with the territory of football. Do you learn more from the mistakes than the assists?
Yeah, there's no doubt, and it's fair for you to ask that question. I mean, obviously going back, I wish I didn't do it, of course, but look, it's just part of football. It's something I'll learn from, and something that I think in my first season as a footballer, it's really gonna change the way I look. So yeah, it's just something I wish I didn't do, and I'll have to learn from it.
I like the points you make in terms of first season as a full-fledged professional. We'll talk about your reasons for joining the Young Lions in a short while. You talk about 2 games, positives, yet 2 losses. How's the team feeling?
If you look at the 2 games, I think the team are feeling quite upbeat still, due to the first game, particularly against Balestier. In my opinion, the whole game, we were banging the game. It was 1-1. I think they scored their goal in the 110th minute or something. So we knew that we could compete, and I don't think anyone can say that we weren't in the game right till the end. Obviously, bit of a different story for the second game against Tanjong. But again, in both the games, we scored the first goal. Up until the 60th, 70th minute, we were right in the game, and we could show that we could compete. So I think that's just something we have to take away as a team, that we can compete. We just need to turn the results our way.
And you give us great perspective in terms of, yes, you were dominating the game, yet 0 points to show for your efforts, right? I want to ask you this as a professional footballer. How does someone deal with that, especially a young footballer like yourself, you and your colleagues?
Dealing with it as a team is very important, that we speak to each other, we stay with each other. We know the quality we've got throughout the team, and I think that showed during both the first halves of the game how much we can dominate if we are all firing. So I think as a team we know that, and there's just no doubt in my mind and in everyone else's mind that if you do that, then results will come. So we just got to keep playing how we play, keep training every day how we train, and I'm sure the results will come our way.
Yeah, we were half joking on the way up to the studio if the football match could end at halftime, we'd be talking about something very different. Key to that mindset that you're clearly showing is your head coach, Firdaus Qasim.
Yeah.
How big an impact has he had, not just on the 2 games so far, but your career as a whole?
Yeah, I think since my move to Singapore, he's been pretty much the most vital part of my move here. As a person, me and him get along very, very well, particularly as a coach, even more so. I think he's completely changed my game as a player. He fills me with so much confidence. He lets me play as freely as I can. And I think we all trust in him as a team for sure. There's no doubt about that. I think if we just keep playing to his system, I've got no doubt that it'll be positive things for us.
Let me ask you this about Firkas. When you make a mistake like we touched on earlier in the Tanjong game, right? How does he speak to you after the match? Is he more hand around your shoulder, explaining it to you, or is he more hard-hitting?
He did speak to me about it, of course. Firdaus knows me very well as a person, and I think on the whole I deal better with someone shouting at me, unfortunately. But on this occasion, he could see that I was disappointed to let everyone down and let myself down, and more importantly, let him down. And he just said to me about my first sort of 2 games and the 2 performances that I'd need to just get out of my head and not worry about it. He just said, I don't want you to think about it, just don't worry about it, move on. He said, I need you for the next game. So that's just where my head was at with it. And, you know, the second he said something like that, I just think it settles me, for sure, settles me down.
And I want to ask you about that because you said if we continue to play to the coach's system, the results will come. Firkas obviously has a system. All coaches have a system, right? Yet you're a player who thrives on freedom, on being able to show what you have in your locker. How do you fit into his system?
Yeah, I mean, first off, I think it's important to note that in his system, it allows the wingers for sure to be direct, to get a people 1v1. That's what he wants. But I think more importantly for me, growing up in youth football, in sort of academy football, you're taught very early on that you have to be part of the system, and that it's 11 players on the pitch, not just one. So he makes it clear that when I get the ball and the wingers to be free and to be direct, but defensively, it's all 11 players have to be involved. And if you're not part of the system, you're not going to play. So you got no choice but to be part of the system, haven't you? So
yeah, I can imagine, especially if you want to keep your name on the team sheet, right? Let me ask you this. What's your day-to-day with someone like Coach Firkas like? What do you concentrate on in training? What are some drills you go through?
Yeah, he's very detailed coach for sure. I know I've not had a long career at all, but I've had quite a few coaches during that. But he's been one of the most detailed that I've been with. We do a lot of work on our defensive unit. That's what we did in pre-season. In particular, a lot of work on our defensive unit, and going forward, it's more sort of free and up to the player, which in my opinion is what I prefer a lot, as probably people can see. But he works very hard on sort of like the defensive unit, and I think it showed during the games, particularly the first game, how defensively solid we can be. Don't get me wrong, like the second goal against Balestier, something like that to beat us, kind of just sums up what they'd need sort of to get a win from that game. But yeah, day in, day out, that's what we work on, and I really enjoy working with him.
And you're one of the players who's caught the eye in terms of what you've put out on the pitch. But I must say, this Young Lions roster, it's filled with a few foreigners, right? So if you can perhaps champion the cause for the foreign contingent there, it's not every day the SPL has players named like Vinicius, Aguero and stuff like that.
Yeah,
how big a talent are they?
All of them are big talents, obviously. I mean, you only have to look into their CVs to show what talents they are, but it's nice, particularly in the Young Lions, the foreigners, we're all sort of on a similar journey and similar stages in our lives, some a bit older, some a bit younger, but there's no doubt of the quality and the talent, and I think throughout the season everyone will get to see that. But so yeah, I'm excited as everyone else to sort of show what the lads can do, and myself, yeah.
I mean, we talk about the Young Lions as a Singaporean football fan, right? I'm keenly aware that the objective of the Young Lions is to provide a platform for Singaporean players to make a name for themselves. Yep. One such player who's really, I think, done as well as you in the opening 2 games is Ong Yuen, right? I'm calling him Ong Roulette Yuen almost for that shimmy. You see the kid play or train with you week in, week out. Did you know he had that in his locker?
Well, funny you say that, as I actually sit next to Ong in the changing room. We get along very well. Really like Ong. More importantly, what a player. I knew he could do that for sure. But in training every day, he's right up there with. He shows us what he can do. Really, really, really talented player, very technical. But even when he did something like that on the pitch, I'm thinking, "Oh my hell," you know what I mean? That's good.
And not just Ong Ian, right? I have to talk about Nathan Mao, who's like the headline player in his age group, right?
Yeah.
Yet he struggled here and there for minutes. Obviously, national service played a part in that. But he's coming to the team as well.
Yeah.
Where does he compare?
We have to remember Nathan's 17, I think, something like that.
People forget that sometimes.
People do forget. Even I forget as well. But Nathan, a very, very talented player. Obviously, he doing his national service right now, so he had a bit of a disrupted pre-season, which is never easy for a player. So when he came into the team, he was playing probably not in his favourite position as well. So I thought he did well coming off that pitch, and particularly in the Tangerine game, I thought he was excellent in the middle, him and Ong in the middle. But yeah, Nathan, what a talent. Really, really, really nice guy. And I honestly don't know how far he'll go, but I think he got everything he needs to go as far as he can all the way. Thanks
for that, Harry, because I think good things aside, it's important you as a player, as his colleague, gives the perspective of, yes, the kid's 17, he's in national service. I think observers need to cut him some slack in terms of what he's going to go out and achieve. Let's talk about your coach, Firdaus Qasim. You obviously were with him at the Lion City Sailors under-21 team, and then you have now joined him at the Young Lions. Was it a no-brainer when he picked up the phone and said, hey, you want to come over?
Yeah, of course. Obviously, I mentioned how I get along with him as a coach, and the way he allows me to play is something that I'm always thankful for, we'll say. There's no doubt I had opportunities across the league, but when he rang me to say to come, I was obviously just going to say yes. And I think Young Lions in particular, it was a great opportunity for me to play minutes, get my name out there, I guess, and just try to show what I can do in the top flight of Singapore football. And I believed him and Young Lions was going to be the best platform for me.
You obviously get along very well with your coach, Firdaus Qasim. He's been drafted into the national project because of what he's done, right? But from your perspective, put the friendship aside, put the personal relationships aside, what makes him such a good coach?
I think his attention to detail is very, very important. And I know you did just mention to put this aside, but his man management, I think, is very good. He knows what players need. Like how you mentioned earlier, whether they do need an arm around them or a telling off, we'll say. But I think he's a very, very, very tactical coach, good attention to detail, and he's not afraid to change his way if whatever the game suits, if that makes sense, which I think is something all good coaches have needed. And yeah, I'd say his sort of approach to games, being very thorough, is something that he is sort of his elite sort of coaching level.
And I think attention is something you can't run away from in football, right? So I have to ask you this. There's a bit of noise already about Firdaus and what he's trying to achieve at the Young Lions, yet not getting the results, right? Internally, do you think he's aware of the noise?
I mean, I'm sure he is. But there's no doubt he's got a difficult job ahead of him, as any Young Lions coach would. But you know, I do think a lot of this is just noise. I think people who've really watched both the games, and I know I keep mentioning it, but up until the 110th minute of the first game and whatever minute in the second game, no one would have said anything like that, do you know what I mean? So I do think he has been maybe a little unfortunate with how the results have gone. And we all feel the same. It all comes to us as well. We're all sort of in it together. And I think it will not bother him the slightest, I'm sure, and it doesn't bother any of us, I don't think, either, particularly not me.
No, I'll echo exactly what you said. I think it's important we look beyond the results on Google and bother to turn up watching 90 minutes, 100 minutes, whatever it is, to see there is some method to the madness, right? Let's talk about winning. You won the Under-21 League with Firdaus Qasim for the Lion City Sailors. What a feeling that must have been.
Yeah, I think when I joined LCS, it was probably one of my main sort of targets put on there. That's something that I have to do. Personally, I wanted to do was to win the league. And I think the team that we had, obviously it is difficult with players coming and going for due to NS, but there was no doubt, I think there was the quality through that team to sort of get us over the line, and you know, Firdaus set up in a way that allowed us to win that. So yeah, it was a happy moment for all of us. It was a big sort of like bullet point at the start of the year, something we had to do, and we're lucky enough to do it.
I like the way you're giving me insight into the targets that were set. I have to ask you this, dial it back for me. What made you join the Sailors in the first place?
I think I was in England. My time had finished at Hull City. LCS just reached out, sort of gave me an offer to join, and it's a very professionally run club. I was sort of shown the ins and outs of it, and it was something that was really attractive to me. Again, I had opportunities, I'll say, to sort of go elsewhere, but it was something that really, really interested me. And so I took the offer, and here I am.
And a little birdie tells me you spent part of your childhood in Singapore as well. Perhaps talk to me about that. How were you exposed to the Lion City before you joined the Lion City Sailors?
Yeah, so I was in Singapore as a kid, I'll say, from 2015 through till 2017, living here more as an expat than anything. My dad used to work in Singapore. I think some of my fondest memories growing up were in Singapore. I seem to remember having a Lions 12 or Lions 11 shirt growing up, yeah. So that was probably my first sort of like introduction to Singaporean football. But yeah, I remember playing grassroots football here, and it was the most beautiful country I've ever lived in, ever been in, for sure. So obviously that's one of the main reasons that made me want to come back. That was me growing up in Singapore.
Thank you for sharing the fact that you had a Lions 12 jersey. That's amazing. I might ask you about another red kit in a short while, but let's talk about the Sailors kit first. You had 2 appearances for the Sailors last season, right? You talked about bullet points earlier in terms of winning the Under-21 league. For you, that must have been a bullet point as well, making an appearance for the men's senior team.
Yeah, making my debut was quite important for me. I think it's just something I've been working to all year, and obviously I was lucky enough to get the opportunity to do so, and to get 2 at the end of the year was also a nice touch. But yeah, it was something I was just happy to do and get given the opportunity for. I think I took my opportunity okay, and I was just thankful.
Yeah, you certainly took the opportunity okay, because I remember those appearances and then immediately the name clocked, right? You have Hull City, like you mentioned earlier, on your CV. You've also spent some time at Leeds United. What were those experiences like? Because it's not every day I speak to someone who's had apprenticeships there.
Yeah. Growing up through my school life, I was with Leeds United for 5 years. Very fond memories, obviously, big club. And I think that's really developed my football, sort of growing up. And then I made the move to Hull City, got a 2-year scholarship through the ages from 16 till 18. That was my first real taste of sort of full-time football, training every day, doing education alongside that. I think obviously that shapes me to the player that I am today. I've only really got fond memories of both, only got good things to say about both. And good times.
Hate to ask comparison questions, but I have to in this instance. You've obviously trained most recently with Hull, 16 to 18, and then now you're with the Young Lions, right? What are some differences you've noticed between training there as well as training here?
Yeah, the weather, obviously. But I'd say I think obviously the team I'm around is a lot older now, and we have obviously locals and foreigners in from all sort of walks of life in my whole team. It probably wasn't that of a vast sort of amount of personalities, but on the pitch, I'd say, I actually wouldn't say it's too dissimilar, to be honest. I think maybe the intensity levels back home were a bit higher, but I do genuinely feel that is due to sort of the hot weather in Singapore. That there's a certain type of football you have to play, and there's obviously back home got a lot of quality, which maybe it can be lacking here certain times, but I wouldn't say the training is too dissimilar between the two.
And on the topic of English clubs, Hull as well as Leeds, do you have a favourite club?
Funny enough, I don't really, to be honest. I was always growing up, I was always more of I had a player that I sort of liked. So when I was very young, Wayne Rooney was always a player that I really liked. So I guess I supported Man United, but I wasn't an avid Man United watcher. But yeah, I'm sorry to disappoint you there, but I don't really support a club massively. I just support players. But my dad's a Liverpool fan, so maybe I'll jump on that.
No need for apologies. If I had a choice, I would stop supporting Manchester United right now as well. But that's a different conversation. You talk about maybe liking Wayne Rooney or liking the way he plays growing up.
Yeah.
Domestically, I've heard comparisons between you and a certain Maxime Lestienne already. Do you think that's because of the position you play, or do you actually see some overlaps between you and him?
I mean, obviously that's a nice thing for someone to say about me. He's widely considered probably one of the best players Singapore football's ever seen. I do see similar comparisons, I guess, in our play style, but I think it's more me trying to emulate what he's doing. And yeah, I can see why people say it, but you know, I'm just trying to be my own player, kind of create my own career, my own path. But I can certainly see how and why people would compare us. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's not just people saying, they're hoping exactly that you would reach the levels that Maxime has. I have to ask you this, you spent some time with the Sailors men's team as well. Any mentors within the team who've sort of helped you along this journey?
Yeah, of course. I think I was 18 when I first sort of walked into the LCS changing rooms, and there was a few players straight away, particularly even on my first day, you know, like Bailey Wright. Him being in England for so long obviously helps a lot. We got along, and you know, to be honest, throughout the whole team, lovely bunch of people. And I was lucky enough to sort of go away to China and Thailand for the Champions League too. I was lucky enough to join them on that twice. And you know, I start asking questions as I do, and you get to know these people better, and they mentored me more than I could ask for, really. But yeah, I'd say particularly throughout the team, Bailey, Bart, Ramselaar have helped me settle in Singapore, that's for sure.
If I had $1 for every time somebody brought up Bailey Wright as being the custodian of that team, I'd be quite rich, actually. Who are your teammates in China and Thailand? Who are your roommates, rather?
Thailand, it was another young player, Josh Little, at Sailors now. And China, I was with Anu.
Oh, nice.
Anu,
okay.
yeah.
I have to ask you this. You're doing your first radio interview since becoming a full-time footballer, right, with the Young Lions. It comes with the territory, the attention, the media interest, the clips for the Young Lions Instagram. This interview, I'm sure it'll be the first of many. How do you deal with all of that at the tender age of 19?
I'd like to just take it in my stride, and that it's part of the job, I'd say. I'd say I quite enjoy answering questions like this for you, to help people get to know me, to see more than just a footballer. But yeah, I think it's something that I'll just have to sort of get on with and take in my stride and sort of learn on the job, I guess, yeah.
It's good to know that you enjoy these things. I'm going to book your time 1 year in advance. Same time, same place. We'll try and catch up to see how things are going. Speaking of things are going, what's the long-term plan here? You obviously have a season ahead with the Young Lions, but do you see yourself playing back in England, or is the long-term future in Asia?
I think I'll just take every game as it comes, sort of play my best that I can, season through season, game by game, and I'm sure if I do that, my future will take care of itself.
And this is my final question to you. I've asked a lot of the players who've come through before the season started, but since it's in its infancy, I'll ask you this. This season, I want to be remembered for?
I want to be remembered for the way that I play on the pitch, and I want to be remembered for being part of a Young Lions team that was successful.
Harry Spence, it's been an absolute pleasure catching up with you on Sports Minutes. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Sports Minutes on Money FM 89.3.